Yes, they are in the pick and ban phase. I do know that. Aha. There we go. Diana, first ban out. Understandable, powerful mid laner. Very tanky. Incredible amount of burst. Lux going down as well. Banning out someone on TSM. Ori Lux is their top plays. I forgot who was the mid laner, but it's Ori Lux that they want to get rid of in that situation. Now that blue team is first pick, they may just if they don't ban out the Jace, it's going to be first pick Jace. I just bet you. Heck at him going down from TSM NZ. Not a huge play coming out from UT. I mean, they are experienced with him, but not something they've been training in too much. A Mumu going down for them as well. I don't want that AoE teamfight potential. And there it is, the Wukong getting banned out against UT. So there is a person on UT that does play the Wukong quite a little bit. And on my little notepad thing, I've written Wykong. Why me? And Rala going on there. Apparently, you have a problem. Sorry, just being an administrator because apparently these guys don't know how to deal with other administrators. Alright, so we are getting into the picks and bans. I am terribly sorry that I was forced to administrate. There's the Orianna going down, so they completely banned out the mid player on TSM and said, what's going on? Jadman picking up the Caitlyn. Surprisingly, not a Jace pick. First from either of these teams. Very confused by that. Lulu picked out from UT. They denied it to TSM and of course, Lulu is a very strong champion. There's the Jace potentially getting picked out by Noob Reaper, but he looks like he likes that Java just a little bit too much. Maybe Edible Paper jumping on his trademark Tristana there. And of course it is he's trademark Tristana as well. Maybe Edible Paper took a couple of tips from him. But we have seen him on Trist before. And he's just lovely. He's just lovely. And more administrative duties, as you can see my chats popping up. Oh, my life just sucks. Anyway, oh yes, hello Edible Paper. Thanks you for coming in here and cheating. That means I've just got to put up the summoner spell covers. Bloop. You reminded me of that. If you hadn't have talked, you might have gotten away with it. Hello, Janet. Sorry, Zanet Zukin. Severukin. Zanet Tucken. The hell? Everybody loves the call. Cedric coming in as well. So Sona going to be supporting up with that Caitlyn. We got the poke combo going on again. Will it work this time though? We've got range on Tristana and support on Lulu. Poke and support on Lulu, come to think of it. She's quite a lot more aggressive than Sona, and she has got a little bit more health. Plus she has that shield. It's a little bit more effective, but we'll see if Edible Paper can deal with the damage output. He has got a couple of tricks up his sleeve, but I won't let anyone know what those are because I'm not supposed to. I'm a horrible person. And where is it? Oh yeah, it is Noob Reaper actually picking up the Gragas in the mid lane. We haven't seen Gragas in mid lane for quite a while in NZ League of Legends Esports. He's so strong still. But of course it is based on skill shots and pure burst than a lot of utility. He can get quite tanky. And he likes that sustain in the mid lane, so a lot of aggression probably coming out from him, a lot of pushing, a lot of lane pressure. Kaifam reacting in kind, and actually Fua managing to pick up the Shen, but we're not seeing we're not seeing a blitz, we're not seeing a thresh. So weird, isn't it? No blitz, no thresh. Very, very weird. But Fua actually picking up the Shen, so it's going to be quite difficult for anything that TSM NZ do to deal with. They will try and get into fights, and Fua will just be right there unless he swaps out, in which case it will be someone else who will be in their face. Pac-Man Rage thinking of that jungle Nasus that we've seen climb up in the last couple of weeks due to that beautiful wither. People still like maxing the Q though, but that wither's so strong. And yes, Defiance does pick up the Jace. So they've got that up in the top lane dealing with the Shen. And Shen does deal with Jace pretty well. He's got that feint. But Jace, you know, people have said it time and time again, he outlanes everybody. He's got the burst damage, he's got the range. Oh, that's just beautiful, dude. That's just beautiful. Snowy Padre is gay, wants to add me to their friends list. Aren't I just fun? If anybody can tell me how to lock that down, how to make this thing disappear, please let me know. People like banning the bin list, and we get dicks like that jumping in. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do, but I will find you. I'm never going to find him. He's probably going to keep friend requesting me. This is beautiful. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Sidria going with the Twisted Fate. Surprisingly, that's actually been a Fua pick for a very long time. Let's see if they swap it out. Well, they're not, eh? No. Well, Fua has been playing quite a lot of Twisted Fate and Evelyn in that good old ranked. But he's sticking with the Shen apparently this game, and it is going to be Sidria on the Twisted Fate. So now that we are getting straight into game, and Krasik just gonna, hey, would you look at this? Bloop. Suck it. I can't ban you on League, but I can ban you here. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's brilliant. This guy's brilliant. He's so great. He's so smart. He's so amazing. And now that we can show summoner spells, it's going to be a lot of happy time. Jace picking up a teleport. So he's going for, I guess he's going for a little range burst as he jumps down a bot lane, knocking a couple of heads with his hammer. That's probably what's going to happen. As long as he can react to Fua, that's going to be enough for them to stay in the game. I would really appreciate it. Whoever keeps adding Snowy Padre is gay to the account to stop doing so, as this is supposed to be a professional tournament, but apparently I have no idea how to lock down that specific thing. But we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, no, people just don't seem to give a crap. So much hate. And we'll lose about 15 stream viewers. Cheers, buddy. It's great. It's brilliant, thanks. Destroying the NZ scene. Good love. Good love. Bye, viewers. See ya. Good luck, have fun. Anyway, yeah, Defiance is probably going to be destroying that top lane very effectively. Noob Reaper actually picking up the barrier. And we had a barrier on edible paper before as well, and he's picking up a cleanse instead of it. So he wants to stay straight away from that CC coming out only from Sona, except for the stray little snap trap onto Noob Reaper. Is that going to happen? Potentially, if he does catch him out, that's going to be quite a lot of damage outputted from him. But now he does have that cleanse. I mean, that's a pretty pointless burn from cleanse if he gets caught in a trap. So sad. Who is the diamond? I'm not going to let you know until we get into the loading screen. Langafang, I'm sorry, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Hello, Ducker, how is it going? He's liking the UT picks. Okay, that going to happen. But TSMNZ's name! Follow the name, guys. That's where the plays are at. TSM, aren't they top in the LCS right now? One of the, if not the. Calling it. Kaifam, of course, he's up in the top lane. He's got a lot of burst power, got a lot of lane clearing potential, so he can get very aggressive up against Jace. Got Fua in the jungle, so he's not going to be going up against Jace. He's not going to have that early harass. Oh, and apparently Daka is a UT fan. Good on you, buddy. Bye, viewers. I'm gay. This guy. This guy. Oh, this guy. Home time. Home screen. Gonna get some loading going in. So what do you guys have any predictions for this game? I mean, there's a good mix of tankiness from both sides. Both of them have a lot of lane control. I mean, there's a bit more map and lane control coming out from UT. They do have that Twisted Fate, and they've got the Shin as well, so they can react very well. And if they get a lot of those ultimates off perfectly, they can take control of the game. They really can. And it may not be borders, so you can't actually see the diamond border, because those are Season 2 borders. But Season 3, there is one player on UT that is diamond. Or plat, I can't remember. May just be plat. Silly me. But yeah, I'm not gonna fill you in on who it is. You can go and LoL King these guys if you want to. You really can. Nothing's stopping you. Daka calling that it's going to be a close match. I mean, yeah, again, both teams, they've got a lot of burst, they've got a lot of sustain. You've got Nasus there to take all of the hits, and then you've got decent CC coming out from Sona and Gragas with the ultimate displacing entire team fights. And, you know, a bit more of the tankiness coming out potentially from Earth and Turk, because they've got the Lulu ultimate leading in from Fua on Shen. And apparently everyone's just going here. Okay. Okay. Let's get the Lulu down.
To Summoner's Rift.
Yes, I aware that is where I am. Thank you, announcer. You can leave now. Come on, Zed. Got on that top lane. It's going to be Twisted Fate up against Gragas. How do you guys call that lane? I mean, Twisted Fate, he's got a decent amount of range, but so does Gragas with his casks, and he can get up close and personal with the body slam. Definitely still good gameplay, Xanet. There's no doubt about that. Momentum Dream. Rooting for the TSMs. We've got supporters from both sides. I'm happy about that. It's usually pretty straight up one team, and then the supporters of that team, they lose. Oh, I love that. So much fun. So much disappointment on the stream. So much sadness. Root for the underdogs. They always take it away. TPA. Why not? Where's the love? Up at the top lane, Zed's going to be picking up an Oracle's Elixir, where it's going to be full sustain coming out from Jace, picking up the, picking up the pots, and it's an invade from both teams up into the blue. So both teams thinking they're very sneaky, but not so much. They, great teams think alike, apparently. Because this just happened. Both teams looking very confused right now. Hey, is going what? It is going to be the steal coming out from UT, and most likely, yeah, TSM is going to be taking it away as well. No chance they're going to let that live, but they are actually going to let the refresh go from both teams. I think is Fua actually going to leave. Oh, Fua not being a nice guy, leaving that minion there, prohibiting the refresh of the blue buff. But hey, at least Pac-Man's nice. At least Pac-Man's a decently okay guy. That does mean that Shin is that little bit behind in farm, but it does mean that refresh on the blue will really affect the mid lane. Jadman does so well with the blue buff on Gragas. You can just throw out all the casks you want, but of course Twisted Fate doesn't need it as much. He has that blue card. He can sustain all he wants. And there's Fua with the red buff now. So pretty quick jungles coming up from him. He's now sitting up at the top lane. Is he going to go straight? Yeah, it looks like he is going to stay in that jungle. Get himself a little bit of farm. Down in the bot lane, Noob Reaper going for the Doran's Blade, looking for sustain. That health early in the game with the pressing power. Longsword and pots coming down from the Tristana. So that means a little bit gold behind on Noob Reaper if he can't justify it with a kill or a higher minion count. Or a higher CS, rather. And Edible Paper still being able to dish out the exact same amount of damage. Trading very well. With the E's, going to make it very worth it. Defiance already getting up close and dangerous with Kaifam. He hasn't quite... Oh no, he is sitting on Living Shadow now, I believe. He certainly is. And regening, I mean, both of them have so many health pots, they can do whatever they want. It's going to be a very long fight at the top lane unless one of them decides to burst the other down. Possible as well as both of... sorry, just Kaifam sitting there. Sorry, Keyfam. His name is Keyfam. I will learn this one day. Keyfam is the one there with the Ignite. So most of the engage is going a little bit more in his favor. And would you look at that, it is the poke doing all of its work from UT, but they can't quite hold up the same sustain against the Sona. She's poking quite well. She's staying out of trouble. But it looks like she's used too many wards and she can't quite get sight on that bush there. She has no more wards except for the 2 that are in her inventory because that's how many wards she has. Shut up, Snowy. It's 2 wards at the bot lane as we do actually see Kaifam diving into the turret to grab that first blood. It doesn't matter if Pac-Man manages to get that. He's grabbed first blood. He's going to scale great into that top lane. The assist did go to Jace though still. So it's not that much of a lead, but still the first blood makes a difference. Even if it's just that little bit. Going to pick up a longsword with it, double longsword, so he's thinking of going straight brutalizer, probably going to pick up a ward. No, boots, actually, yeah, boots, wards. And enough money for any more health bots? Certainly not. Certainly not. He sadly did not grab any more health bots. Sight going down from him, though, there, as Shen takes away that top lane in his absence. And it is Gragas starting with a Doran's in the mid lane as well. So, a little bit of regen. But again, it's Doran's full out from TSM instead, so they're going to be below in that gold count unless they can justify it with kills or CS increase. And right now, I don't know, they're not really dominating with CS increase. They will end up selling those items, getting a little bit less gold back. But maybe just surviving in that lane a little bit more effectively. And there's the poke from Soda there. It's just dealing so much damage that she stayed so much out of the way. She's still sitting on full health. So the push has gone completely in their favor. This is what I was talking about last game. There's so much range and so much poke potential on Sona Caitlyn, and we saw the exact same combo coming out from Blue last game, but it didn't work out because of the aggression from Taric, and Lulu cannot seem to output that same amount of aggression. But as the game continues, Edible Paper, he'll get more range, he scales way better with his AD, with his autos. Not his attack, but maybe with his attack. But mainly with his autos there. And of course, while he doesn't have barrier for Deceptive Tankiness, he does have wild growth from Lulu, so that can be enough to change around a fight. But look at that aggression coming down from the bot lane. Sona and Kaiten not afraid to finish off this lane early and move on to others to give them a little bit of help. They don't want to sustain that laning phase. They know they have the poke and the advantage in damage. They want to use it while they still can, especially again with that Tristana. She gets a refresh on her jump, and that's just over in a team fight as long as she stays alive. And it looks like it's going to be a lane coming in from Pac-Man Rage. He did go in, sorry, not a lane. Going to be a river gank coming in. Defiance not quite up enough to capitalize on it. Keep them sitting there. Happy with his 2 longswords to deal range damage to Defiance. This is how you push out a Jace, people. You know he's got range. He's got great burst and decent amount of sustain because he can start out with those pots and still deal a lot of damage. That's how you poke him out. Get a Zed. Why not? Pro tip. Numero uno coming out from Snowy. Which makes it not so pro, but hey. These guys too pro. These guys grind pro. I still think both of these teams deserve a Masters position, and we may just be seeing one or both of them try their luck in Masters. It'll certainly be fun to see if they jump in there. Good old anti-warding fool. Anyway, blue buff now sitting on Sidria in the mid lane, but not so much on Gragas because of that refresh. I think it was actually picked up. No, indeed it was not. It was just that refresh now that Rage has picked up on that. So it will be coming up pretty soon. And Rage is there to capitalize on it and to give it to Gragas. But still, the aggression coming out from Sidria at the moment is not going to be in his favor. And the mid lane is going to be pushing everywhere. He's actually picking up the recut. Look at that pushing potential. But it's still being equalized by Jamman, and he does have his consummation thingy. He does have his Drunken Rage, I believe it is. Yeah. I know the names. All the names. And all the tasty warding coming out from Aaron. Actually getting that vision did quite a lot more for them. than anyone would believe, giving them sight on that dragon. But it is slightly away from this ward here. But, oh, let me just check that out. Whoa! It just misses. So sad. There's the ult going down from Free Candy, so it's not going to be available for another teamfight as Fua goes in with the initiate. He does manage to get a taunt off on Free Candy, but they're not there to capitalize on it, and Greg is actually grabbing a kill on Sidria in the mid lane, so it doesn't matter how much blue Sidria actually has. The ultimate from Jadman burned out there, his explosive cast very much gone, and the consistent burst and poke coming out from his... not his explosive casts. His other things, his barrel roll, I believe it is. Oh yeah. See, I'm getting all the ability names right these days. I still have to check them to assure myself though. So sad. Dust Nailed, how's it going? Cheers for joining in. 2-1 in the game now. Great reaction from Gragas, and I believe he did get that refresh on blue. Yes, he certainly did. Lucky him. Who needs your own blue? Oh, he may just be able to pick up a kill on 4. No, he's not going in for that final cask there. It just managed to refresh, but it was going to be an escape from 4, who just got away with under 50 health. Did not chase after that. There was no flash, and of course the body slam was down from Gragas, so there wasn't... I mean, he may not have been able to chase that out, but he still could have given it a go. But he felt that he couldn't. He could not get that cask off, that very, very last barrel roll. Sergio cannot deal with the Jadman burst right now. Not even worth it. There's a pressure on the bot lane again with Free Candy actually prohibiting them from farming. It is 73-68. Oh, and Sidria teleported right onto a Yordle snap trap, denying him the gold card initiate onto Sona. That is just tough luck. That is just such tough luck. Oh my god. That moment when you TP in and you just cannot move. Oh my god, that must have just... He must have just been crapping himself at that. Oh. Sad face. Great placement from Caitlyn. Great placement. Keefam actually managing to get out of it. I'm thinking he's going to be able to Living Shadow his way. Doesn't even need to, but he still does anyway. Great escape with a flash and Living Shadow out from him. Not going to be enough gank potential from Pac-Man Rage. This is why I still feel it's difficult to play in Nasus. You need to go against champions that have no mobility. There's a jump on Edible Paper. There's a speed up on Lulu. Fua can do whatever he wants because he's got a gold card and a TP, and Kaifam has flash and his shadows. His shadow clone jutsu indeed. So it's very difficult for that Wither to make the plays for those ganks in the game. It's a very good pick out from UT, actually going in with that. And yes, indeed, Sona did waste a flash, but that is purely because they had no idea Sidria would just bloop, Yordle snap trap. So, you know, I guess it was an equal trade. Ultimate for Flash. Actually, no, that's way better in the Flash opinion.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Pressing power from Nasus, he's going, if I can't get a gank off, I'm going to push a lane and then get a friend to gank with me. That might just work, especially if it's Jace. Initiates with the poke, comes in with the Mercury Hammer, and an ace in the hole just smashing Lulu in the face. That's so much fun. Trying to push them out of lane while she still can. She knows it's being pressured by Fua. You do not want that turret to go down. They're really, really fixated on being the first one to get the enemy turret down. And look at that. It's sitting on 89 health. So 2 auto attacks, maybe even 1, and that is going down. And they can finally stop. They can finally start roaming and aiding those kills from Pokemon Rage. Jadman pushing Sidria out by using that ult. Doesn't even care about the kills anymore. Just doesn't want any more lane phase. Honestly, it doesn't look like anybody in this game is happy with their lane phase at all. They want to get out of it. The pressure from Caitlyn and Sona, ultimate coming out from Gragas, just doesn't want to take any of it. He's like, I want to go back home, so you'll go home too. Maybe. Give it a go. And he sort of succeeded. I think that blue did go to Sidria though, but he is... Oh, he's actually going to sustain it and stay in mid. But if that explosive cask from Gragas comes back and if he's still there, yeah, he's going to back out. He's floating just that little bit too much coin with 600. That's actually not that much coin, just by the way. He actually sold his regen pendants and picked himself up a blasting one. So he's going full Lich Bane right now. He got rid of those 2 fairy charms and is trying to start going straight up Lich Bane. Interesting maneuver, getting all of that mana considering he had blue card, and then moving straight into the blasting one. So, sustain and damage in the mid lane, despite that initial death from Gragas because of his aggression. Try to go for sustain with the fairy jump. Interesting tactic indeed. Give it a try. Give it a go. I'm not gonna. I know I can't pull that stone. Yeah, I can't pull that stuff. Anyway, it's gonna be a little more pressing power from Fua picking up from Fua. What am I talking about? From Aaron picking up a Cage's pick. Is Sona following in kind? No, she's actually playing a legit build, except she just got a Flux. So kind of confused by that. There didn't go for a Cage's pick. Didn't go for any kind of sustain with pots or anything. Did go for a flask later in the game, and Freak Andy's going to very much die. Perfect jump into a Buster Shot from Edible Paper. Tasty Buster Shot, gotta give him a kill. Not quite the same as a Vayne getting a stun against a wall, but hey, still very effective. So it's going to be a turret and a kill for them. 2-2 now in the game, and they managed to... Wow, Fua actually fending off that damage. Good job, Fua. Too bad that Dragon did actually go to TSMNZ, because if it didn't, that'd be a lot of map control from UT. But it looks like Rage and Jadman saw them pressing in that bot lane and thought they might pick up another one in the mid lane. So if anybody roams outside of that area in the tops of mid lane from UT, they're looking for a lot of danger. They're looking for trouble. They'll need to start warding up their upper jungle if they don't want to get caught out. You know, Jace and Nasus in the jungle. If you walk right into their faces, you're not gonna have a fun time. It's gonna be that burst already coming out from Jace. It's gonna be able to knock you up, hit you back. The wither from Nasus. You're gonna have to really, really desperately flash over all for safety. Now the Dragon is back up though, and the rest of TSM were pushing other lanes. It looks like it is gonna be a Dragon going to UT. Yeah, they do just pick it up, and look at that pilt of a Peacemaker, nearly getting it from Newbury. He had very good aim, very good timing with that one. No dice though. Decent enough smite power coming out from Fua. Not gonna let it happen. As they come into the mid lane, I don't think they're going to be able to push in though. Again, they've got that disadvantage of being decently close ranged enough, except for Sidria, and then a little bit of poke from Iron Edible Paper isn't quite just there yet. If they get that dive on them, especially with the explosive cast from Jadman, very great way to disrupt team fights, very great way to outposition Edible Paper, force that jump out from him, get him away from the fight, and then move in and clean up the garbage pretty much. I'm interested to see if Jadman can make those casks. And there's the Lich Bane coming out from Sidria. Gonna be making it pretty heavy. What's going up with Kaifam though? Thinking to go on Blade of the Ruin King himself. Getting straight for a last whisper, so he's gone for that massive amount of penetration like we saw from the Kazakhs last game. It is doing quite well for him. Look at his farming potential. 153 versus 97. So he's just been pushing the crap out of that lane up at top. Really making the difference in lane, and he did get that initial kill. Aegis of the Legion coming out now onto Rage. So it doesn't look like it's going to be another... It looks like it's going to be another Sona going ageless. That's what Sona is, come on. Let's be honest here. She does pick up a Cage's pick, so she's now going for that little bit of aggression, but no Sidestone on her just yet. I know a lot of players, a lot of skilled players that don't always like going for that Sidestone because they want to have room for more wards. They want to be able to use more, they want to be able to get out more for their team, and they just focus on getting things like Aegis, which to be honest, it does help a lot with those teams. And if you get that Cage's pick, you've got enough money going to sustain. You get a Cage's pick, and most likely seeing out from her a potential Chalice as well, because it gives them that. Oh, perfectly placed ultimate from Sidra, coming in with a gold card onto Defiance. He's forced to turn around and fight, but it's going to be no dice from him. If he started fighting a little bit early, he may have been able to make it. But again, he's sitting there with the flash and the teleport, which he has been using to protect his lane more than anything else. So, yeah, maybe he could have been able to put him enough damage, but he doesn't have that ignite to make it happen. 2-3 currently, and there is actually a gold advantage to TSM&Z. They've done decently enough to farm, and they've got those 3 turrets above UT. Despite the fact that UT are better at farming, just that little bit in the top lane, that mid, bot, and jungle are just doing really, really good in terms of farm. Of course, Edible Paper's doing pretty damn well for his CS as well. But overall, the loss of those turrets has destroyed their map control, destroyed their ability to farm outside of their comfort zones. They're in a pretty dangerous situation. They've only got that bot turret. And there's a lot of pressing power with Jadman. A lot of fear coming out with when he gets off that explosive cask. It just destroys team fights, I can tell you now. In terms of warding, it looks like TSM&Z have got it in the bag. They really have started warding up entry points coming into UT's jungle, but UT have taken my good advice, because, you know, everyone should listen to me. Now, the day they start doing that is the day that League just stops working. But, yeah, they have managed to ward their upper jungle very smartly. Key locations, so they don't get the loss of their jungle, and they can go in there safely to farm, because of course there just aren't as many places that you can farm without your jungle, and when your 3 outer turrets have gone, you basically rely on that jungle, and you rely on the enemy CSing enough so that lanes can reach you, but they can still sit there and just not give a crap. They can just CS. They can just last hit in the middle of the lane, and you will hear none of that CS. You will just get nothing. Pause going out. Please, yay! How would you look at that? My mouse has not bugged out, so I can see what they're saying. What's going on? What's the pause? James is out of time. Apparently, Aaron is at a net cafe. Oh no, Edible Paper is at a net cafe. Maybe they all are. What they doing? I wonder where they are. Everybody go and jump on him. I would ask them right now, but this isn't live. No, Gragas, he's not at a net cafe. He's just out of time. Because what, dying from old age? No, what? Where else could they be? If you guys can give me an answer to that, I'll give you a treat. I'm kidding, I don't have a treat. Maybe I will. I'll come over to your place, give you a muffin. If you can tell me there's a place where they can't spend time, where they can spend time that's not a net cafe to play League of Legends. And if they run out of time, they just can't play anymore. I've already said death, it doesn't count. Nuh-uh. Yeah, I didn't think anybody had any ideas. No one. Okay, there you go. No, nah, they're still getting the time. Anyway, looking up into the team fights, I mean, it's 2-3. There's been equal trades and damage. I would have thought, you know, a lot of the map control that was taken from Sidria and Fua because their ultimates hasn't come out in the early game, and therefore they've lost their turrets to pure pushing power, pure damage potential, and of course Rage focusing that top turret, because that was the one that was being aggressed so much with Keyfam. And of course we pointed out his pushing potential before. He's just got so much more CS over Jace, putting out all of the damage. Let me just see what that is actually. Hey, the pulse is actually going out. You're liking it. Sorry, Razor Shuriken and Shadow Slash. I have not kept up in the Zed fan book as of late. Apparently he shaves a lot. What is that? Razor, oh yeah, Razor Shuriken, Rasen Shuriken. No, Razor Shuriken and Shadow Slash. We probably got no Naruto fans in here. I'm geeking out. Geeking out on stream. Sidria just doing his work. Gonna cold card you in the face just because he can. But yeah, team fights. Focus. Rage. He can't get quite into the team fight fast enough to be the focus of attention. He really can't. And if he does, it's an easy jump for Keyfam to start targeting Nude Reaper. They have a lot going for them in terms of dashes, in terms of jumping and teamfight control that they can get behind the enemy team. Talking about UT here. in a team fight. Same as 4. If he gets the dash off, he can go straight through Rage if he wants to, and if he manages to catch off Noob Reaper, that is it for their team. But they still have a lot of good damage. Of course, Jabman will have to get great placement on his damage to make it count. If he doesn't, that's just a waste of a couple of abilities, and he's sitting there with Body Slam and Drunken Rage, just whacking people in the face. Waiting for that Rolling Thunder to come up. That's not actually Rolling Thunder, but I call it Rolling Thunder because it's the castle rolling on the ground. So much fun. Kidding, it is actually Barrel Roll. Something to do with rolling. Rolling Gragas all the way across the sky. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, it's going to be a Dragon Engage coming down from TSM instead. They've got the warding going, but it looks like UT have caught on. They're starting to group up, and Shin is backdooring, so he does have his ultimate up and available, and in comes Keyfam. He doesn't manage to smite the dragon, but he does get the initiate on a Noob Reaper, who made, oh no, he does pop out a flash and a barrier. Meanwhile, Peaceman Rage is focusing down Aaron, which, no, he's not going to go down to the Ignite, and now he's going to get the switch focus onto him. Oh no, Edible Paper actually managing to get a kill on, okay, so we always knew Pac-Man Rage was going to go down since he'd been isolated from his team and he was running after a lost cause called Aaron. And that is one Jace that is not going to get away. Fua managed to get off the Shadow Dash. And then everybody followed up with all the damage they needed. But Edible Paper being sneaky, managing to get this kill on Gragas over the wall with that last auto attack. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Look at that body slam escape, but didn't quite find it. It's now 2-6 in the game to UT. That Dragon Engage couldn't have been done more wrong for TSM instead. They really wanted it. They had the wooding, but they stayed in there way too long, and then their team split up. You know, that was sort of brought out by Keyfam. He did go in there with his ultimate. He did manage to push out Noob Reaper, but once they'd lost their ADC damage, it was Rage in the middle of the team fight. He'd already taken all of that damage. He couldn't do anything. He'd been isolated, and the rest of his team just abandoned him. But they got Dragon. Consolation prize. Fua's going to be dashing over this wall here. To say, okay. I'm guessing his dash may not have been up in time. I'm kind of, maybe his, I don't, okay. And Keyfam might just not make the escape here. He did go for Living Shadow to try and escape that situation. He actually tried to escape it with Deathmark as well, but that ended putting him straight into the path of Noob Reaper. And it looks like in the meantime there has been a little bit of backdooring coming out from Edible Paper. And Aaron, will he be able to grab this turret? Just one more auto attack, he can do it. There you go, buddy! And he's all good and fine. Sidria, despite having a gold card, he may just be able to push out these minions, but I don't think the turret's going to be saved. Nope, it's very much going down. Enough tankiness from the Rage Meister. Another gold card, but still, yeah, he just cannot get touched. He's sitting there with an Aegis. He doesn't quite have a, nah, he wouldn't go Banshees. What am I talking about? But he hasn't quite got that much magic resist. There's the Ruby Sightstone coming out on Sona for a while now, so there's the tankiness coming up from that Philosopher's into a cage. Makes perfect sense. And Suri actually ulting in to try and take out the rest of the survivors at TSM and Z up the top lane. He actually got into a tough decision with Pokemon Rage. His ultimate was up, but he just couldn't take a hit. They were moving through those brushes, and Sidra just couldn't touch him. Bad decision. Of course, he nearly got them off, but it was just that tough luck that the ultimate was up from Pokemon Rage. And he was in the front of the team fight. So he actually, team fight, what am I talking about? That 3v1, he was in the front of that, so he was the focus of attention. He was blocking all of the damage coming out from Sidria, while the rest of his team dodged. All the rage. So much right now. Anyway, there's going to be an IE coming out from Caitlyn. First item looks like we'll be finishing off a Static Shiv. Didn't go straight for the Avarice again, like I love seeing though. Does get that attack speed and crit off first, but that Avarice Blade, gold baby, all the gold in the world. Of course, you do have less damage output, so you suffer in that mid game, unless you are awesome and win your lane. I'm kidding. going to be the same deal coming out from Edible Paper, though, and I would imagine Blade of the Ruined King focused out by her. She has got that dagger, soon to be getting out that Bilgewater. And Gragas with the Rabadon's doing pretty damn well for himself. 162 farm, still dominating that lane. Only 113 though. Despite the gold gap. It is only a 2k gold lead. Do not give it to any single team at the moment. They've been doing pretty well to stay in the game. But it is, all of their engages have just been because of those 1-for-1s. Oh, the saves in the hole will pick it up. That flash went down. Sorry, it was a living shadow going down, actually. Keyfam nearly made the escape by getting that ace in the hole to land on his teammates, but he didn't quite make it. That last little second, last little inch. He's reaching for it, but it didn't quite make it. And now TSM NZ can freely move in on this charge. The body slam landing onto Edible Paper right now, and that ultimate from Sona does go off. Oh, there goes the Stand United from Shen. Pokemon Rage now completely isolated from his teammates, and Edible Paper making the jump away as Jadman L follows behind as well. Where exactly he died in the middle of the team fight. That was all AoE damage and an auto attack focus there. So he went down pretty quickly. And yeah, it's pretty much just TSM NZ getting crushed out. They're just getting taken out by pure damage, leaving Pac-Man Rage to be killed in the middle of those fights. You're thinking if they backed him up, would it be enough? They pushed out Edible Paper. That is one thing. But it's the damage, it's the mobility, and it's the control coming out from UT. Perfect wild growth from Aaron. Great Stand United from Fua. That's all the ADC protection they need to push out TSM NZ. They burn all their spells trying to grab the right person. And while their targeting is great, they just can't touch it. They just can't touch it. Sure thing, Jace. I totally believe you. Exhilarating all the way. A little bit of anti-wooden going down there. It could really be anyone's Baron. I think that is another wood miss there. Oh my god, it is another wood miss. Always sad to see they just don't quite get that that wood coverage they need. Anyway, Dragon going to be going down very, very quickly to TSM NZ, putting them up at 41.4 to 44.0. The gold advantage still in favor to UT because of those kills and because of those couple of dragons they picked up, but it's still not that far ahead. They've managed to press in pretty effectively, and the Zonia's is now on Sidria. Another great target, but now another shutdown target for TSM NZ because he has that Zonia. So everything being thrown out from Jadman that hits him while he's Zonia'd will do nothing. That's all his skill shots gone, and then he's going to have to refresh it. If they can force out the ultimate from Jadman on a Sidria, and he manages to Zonia's just in time, that'll be a very tasty team fight. Same for the ultimate on Sona. And the poke on Jace as well. Is that enough to change around the fight, though? I think so, considering they've been protecting all of the people they need to protect. Now that Azonius is in place, they don't have to focus on protecting Sidria at all. They can pick their targets. Yeah, they can. And it's them just poking out UT at this point. Come on, Shen, you have the power of backdoor. You can do what you want. Once he figures that out, I think it's going to be a little bit more pressure on TSM NZ. There he goes. He's going for that back door. Blade of the Ruined King finished on Jace. So it's going to be a lot of auto attack power coming out from him as well as burst. So maybe Last Whisper coming out from him as well in the late game. Has managed to pick up a Giant's Belt as well to tank up for his team. But that is really Rage's job at the moment. And he seems to be made of paper when it comes to Tristana. I really want to make it an Eats Paper joke, but it's just so bad I can't bring myself to. Edible Paper shredding the Rage, that's all I can say. I will go no further. You can make me say nothing! And and we're nearly seeing that last Whisper finished off from Noob Reaper as well. He's got the cages, sorry, he's got the mining pick and he's got the longsword as well. So he's actually going straight for last Whisper, not finishing off Phantoms, not going for the static shiv that I thought might be happening. But 202, sitting pretty well. Way behind in that farm though. In comes Edible Paper, manages to bust a shot Defiance away. The flash coming out from Sidrio manages to land a gold card, giving them a kill. That is a lot of abilities burned for them though, but they can still focus down Pac-Man Rage. Look at all of that damage he took purely from running away. He just can't take a hit with the damage pulling out from Edible Paper at the moment. Of course, that Blade of the Ruined King isn't quite finished on her at all. She hasn't even focused it out, even slightly. I'm very surprised by that. It is Zed sitting on the on that, and he's got the last Whisper as well. So that's dealing a lot of damage to Pokemon. Sorry, Pac-Man. What was the Pokemon Rage? Pac-Man Rage, and he has sort of gone full armor. Shirelia's Reverie now on Sona. That could give them a great initiate team fight. Using a Shirelia's Reverie on Pac-Man Rage could be very effective. He can select his target. He can get that Wither down. And if it's Edible Paper, he can force him out of the fight. Although, that is an interesting concept. When you get the Shirelia's off and when you get the Wither down onto a Tristana, she can choose one of two things: to jump out of the team fight and deny her damage and give give Nasus exactly what he wants. Or she can choose to just turn back, jump into the middle of a team, deal damage at the front of the team fight, get the refresh, jump away again. And it's just Nasus isolated from his team. And that's what we've been seeing a lot of this game. TSM and Zed getting isolated from each other. We've actually sort of been seeing it from both teams, come to think of it. I mean, they've kind of been trading that way. That's how they've been getting their kills. That's how it's 6-9 at the moment, rather than 3-9 or 8-4. Something crazy like that. Going to be a Rabadon's coming out from Sidrian now, so he's scaling really well with that AP. And again, that Zonya's doing work for his team. Wooden's Mail coming out from Shin now. Considering Jace has got a Blade of the Ruined King, he might be wanting to pick up a Randuin's or a Frozen Heart. In fact, it is what those two items build into, so silly me, it has to be one or the other. Thinking that Randuin's is going to come out though. Going to be TSM moving into the mid lane. Not exactly how they're thinking of doing. They've got the backdoor Shen active. And that means Defiance is out of the fight if they choose to jump in. But they're still not going for the engage. They have an opening here. They really do. Rage is looking ridiculously fast as he is now, and he's actually got an Iceborne Gauntlet as well. So once he gets in with the Shirelias, he can throw down that auto attack, get the slow for the team. Why are we talking about what could happen? Let's see what does happen. And is that another ward miss? I believe it just may have been. Oh, all of those placements this game. Also sad, just slightly off. Just a little bit. Don't tell me it's a Baron bait. TSM and Zed really want to go for this. They have sight. Oh, and they have a tiny bit of sight. There's the Wither going out from Pac-Man onto Aaron with the burst following up from the rest of the team. It's going to be a disengage from UT. They know they don't have the positioning they need. This is just going to be a back and forth here. I don't think TSM and Zed has what it takes to take this Baron. I mean, you can see how much damage Pac-Man is taking just from pure poke alone. If he gets in there with the Shirelias, he won't be able to take a hit. He will just not care at all. No, it definitely is not going to be a Baron push. But UT have the power to fake it out. They have the power to force a fight at Baron. English Edible Paper, he gets a buster shot off, knocking Pac-Man Rage against the wall. Aaron will try and keep him there with a slow, but it looks like the rest of UT have been separated. The ult going out from Sona, Syndra getting taken down by the ult from Jadman. Whoa, and Aaron might just follow suit with the Ollie. There's the ace in the hole, grabbing the kill. Fua's going for the back door. He's not going to let them get Baron. He's forcing them to go back to base. Oh no, Pac-Man, Rage, Noob Reaper, and Free Candy going to go for the Baron while Defiance and Jadman focus down Fua. That is not going to be an inhibitor going down. They split that perfectly. Great reaction as they're forcing fights, and Keyfam actually getting a lot of damage off on a Noob Reaper. Edible Paper jumping in to assist him in the damage, and they managed to go for a 2-for-1 with that Baron engaged. So great play by Fua. He forced them back into their base. Waited for Keyfam to come in and put the damage off on the 3 that remained at Baron, sitting there taking damage. Now they can force a fight here. In comes Defiance. He's looking at a lot of damage off on an Edible Paper. They're still fighting Baron despite this. Do they have the damage to continue it in? They are going to get the Baron and jump in on Defiance. They get the Shadow Dash from Fua. He focuses on Edible Paper, who gets the jump off. Will this be enough? And the Living Shadow Fua having to flash out of there. My voice is very much going. I'm a horrible person. Keyfam actually managed to get a Living Shadow, so it was Baron to a disengage. I thought they were going to move in there and potentially lose that fight there, but they completely disengaged from that. Great decision making. And now Dragon is up, and it looks like TSM and Z have the control of the bottom half of the map. Let me just get rid of that chat for you there, because it's completely ugly. Not the scoreboard, no. That's not going to happen. What was I sitting with the chat on there for? Wanted to know what the pauses were about. But yes, CH Ghost is an admin. And Aaron apparently trying to solo Dragon. That's going to happen. I mean, there's no sight coming out from TSM and Z here. They could potentially move in and enforce this fight. UT, I mean. Because they have the war control and they've got the map control, they've got the damage. They've scaled effectively, they're 9k ahead. Still a perfect team fight could work in TSM and Z's favor. You saw that, a crescendo into an explosive cask. That almost one-hit Keyfam, I believe it was. I think it was Keyfam. Might have been Sidria then. Silly me on that one. Defiance trying to get pokey against Fua. Not going to happen. Fua way too tanky with this. He's actually floating 2.3k gold. And a 2k flow actually coming out from Gragas, surprisingly enough. Out goes the explosive cask. Now burned for the team fight. That is going to be a hefty 60-second cooldown. That's not actually very hefty at all. That's like a Lux ult, but way less on crack. And I still haven't seen that Iceborne Gauntlet come into play from Nasus. Want to see how that can potentially help out his team into a team fight. Again, if they get that off, if they get the crescendo, if they get a perfect explosive cask, they may be able to take away a team fight. They're not actually that far behind in kills and in map control. They are a lot behind in gold. And still not a Blade of the Ruined King coming out from Edible Paper. I'm starting to think we'll never see it. She's sitting there on that Vampiric Scepter. Doesn't look like it's gone anywhere. She's managed to pick herself up a chainmail vest as well. Who indeed notices Edible Paper? He seems like he wants to jump on everything in this game. He's using it very aggressively as opposed to passively or defensively. Now they actually get to see the strength of Baron buff. Will UT be able to poke out this mid turret? But first they're going to do what all good teams do. Completely starve TSM NZ of their jungle. If you don't know what to do in your spare time, take jungle. Do it for your team. Oh, gold card burned in a minion. Fua's keeping Defiance occupied in the bot lane. His ult is up as he's putting pressure on this inhibitor. If the rest of TSM and Z acts in kind, they will be able to, UT will be able to push into that mid lane. Oh my god, Keyfam basically comboing Free Candy into half of her health. And yes, it looks like TSM and Z did react to the Fua engage, but nobody from UT are ready to react in the mid lane. In comes Keyfam, he's looking at Noob Reaper. licking his lips, letting her get away though. This is a hilarious back and forth. They're just waiting for that perfect engage. And to be honest, if Fua gets it, we've got the wild growth, and they've got all the damage they need to follow up on it. Sidri with the gold card. It will burn out now. In goes the Shirelia's Reverie. They're trying to focus down. Edible Paper gets the jump off. Fua is the center of attention. But he's going to be able to take those hits. No questions asked. They've got a good amount of poke onto Edible Paper so far, but still the wild growth has not been popped, so it doesn't quite matter. I think they're trying to bait out a couple of ultimates. If they manage that, they can go into the fight. Now Shirelia's Reverie is down on free candy. Let me see what the refresh is like on that. Yeah, it's not actually too far away from coming back up. Once it is back up, they can go for that engage again. If they don't, though, they're waiting for that engage from UT to get their crescendo off, which is what they're waiting to get their initiated. Both teams going to be backing off. They're not getting anywhere with this. The ultimates aren't getting popped. The jungle is back up for TSM and Z. They can go for more starve, more gold gap, more farm. TSM and Z actually feeling like chasing Keyfam for a little bit. Isn't he just so popular? Edible Paper actually floating 1800 now. Is it going to be a Blade of the Rune King? Actually, I believe 1800 couldn't even do that much. He's sitting there thinking about it. Yeah, there's the Bilgewater. You know you want it. Late game Blade of the Rune King. Keyfam will be going down to this engage, but he's not going to go down without a fight. He's taking Jadman with him. Mark of death. It's going to happen. Jadman just really is not tanky. I thought he would have. He's got the Seekers on him. He's got the Needless Lead, but he hasn't quite finished off that Zhonya's Hourglass. When he does, he'll be able to deal with things like that. Things like Keyfam a little bit better. Will it be enough for his team, though? He's not. He hasn't particularly been the center of attention. They've been looking at Free Candy. They've been looking at Pac-Man Rage. They've been looking at Noob Reaper when they can get the poke off for it. They basically ignore Noob Reaper unless they can get a perfect combo off on him. Other than that, they just feel like poking down Pac-Man Rage. They can do whatever they want. Once he's down, there's no ultimate. There's no Fury of the Sands active available, and that just does so much for Nasus's team right now for TSM and Z. Edible Paper just waiting for the gold on that Blade of the Rune King. Seeing at 1500. He really could grab it. If it decides to go back now, that is, I believe it is 1400 from the Bilgewater Cutlass to the Blade, and that will do so much for UT. Once they get a Blade of the Rune King on Edible Paper plus Keyfam equals very dead Pac-Man Rage. Ghost will be going crazy about that. And I bet nobody got that joke, but I said it anyway. All you Pac-Man lovers out there. All over the world. Come on TSM and Z. Let's see your reaction to this one. Looks like Defiance trying to get up and happy with that top turret to defend it out, but too much pushing power from Sidria and Fua. Fua, of course, his ultimate's still up. He hasn't burned that ultimate for a very long time. He's kept it for those engages, which have not happened because of the back and forth. Australia back up on Sona. They're waiting for that good engage. Edible Paper does have a jump away, Pac-Man. You're not going to get any damage off. It's just not going to be enough. And once that Blade of the Rune King goes down, now Edible Paper, his jump is down. Out goes the Shirelia's. The slow landed with the auto attack from Pac-Man. Didn't manage to follow up with it because of a flash out from Edible Paper. Now they've burned that. He's relying very much on his cleanse and his jump to stay protected in team fights.
Red team has slain the dragon.
And the dragon going down again from UT. They're just widening that gold gap, continuing to starve TSM and Z. This is it, guys. It all comes down to this very last fight. And still edible paper sitting on 2k. She did go back, finished off Blade of the Ruined King, and I'm thinking Shane Vester's looking at a happy little Guardian Angel. It is going to be a Baron coming down sneakily from TSMNZ. They have caught up just that little bit in gold, enough to make their damage output worth a very, very quick Baron. They get it. Now if they get a perfect team fight, there is no doubt in my mind that they can take away this game. But they're simply not throwing. Oh, freak! And they're just running in there without the team. It's going to go down. Now it is a 4v5, and Keyfam looking for blood on Pac-Man. Might just find it with the Death Mark and the Ignite. And the split push coming out from Shen as well. But he might go down to Defiance. He's really cutting him all around the place, letting his team push up into the top lane. Oh, he didn't quite get the dash over the wall. Looks like that just was not dashable for him. It is still a kill on Rage and Inca from UT though. That equals a 4v3 coming into this top lane. Still, Jadman can push them out of a turret engage pretty effectively. He doesn't have his ult up, so not as much as you. Oh! Whoa! Oh my god, okay, so Last Whisper plus a BF Sword and IE equals that is something you do not want to see. An incredibly dangerous ace in the face with edible paper nearly going down. Does he have enough to get his Guardian Angel now though? He's sitting at 1200. Tuck? I'm sorry, what? Okay, Lulu, I believe you. And no, it isn't a Guardian. Yeah, I didn't think he had enough gold for it in the first place, so he's not going to be able to get that just yet. If he farms up around his minions, though, they're just trying to secure this win. This is such a long game. It's already running into the next game. Let me just give them a clear, concise reason to start. So it is 9:15. We should be moving on to the third game pretty soon. As soon as this game ends, we'll be moving on to the third game, unless they've already gone, which they may have done. So I do apologize if we are late on that, because apparently 50 minutes is a game to TSMNZ and UT, who just not want to fight this battle. They want these 5 points so badly right now. TSMNZ, I believe, did take a loss to UT last week. Did not catch that game as I was casting the Masters. But this is one damn intense grinders game. I still call the benefit in UT's favor because of their consistent damage output, their single target damage, and their CC. Plus the ultimate from Aaron and Fua, as long as they get perfect coordination out. But it is sort of the same thing from TSMNZ. A crescendo into an explosive cast can really give them a fight. As I've been saying, because I'm boring and I repeat myself, that's a very dead map. Oh, there we go. All of the jungle minions popping up from red side now. There was just nothing in that. Just a desolate wasteland. But it's repopulated! Go jungle minions! They don't even sexually reproduce. They just die and then respawn. What the? They come from the trees. Yeah, that ace in the hole still hurting pretty badly, but now it's down. Just getting that poke off, especially against Sidria, who has the Zhonyas. He could have just Zhonya'd out of that. He didn't feel like it was necessary. Saving it for the team fight. There are super minions down in your bot lane. Looks like TSM will be distracted. TSM NZ. Don't make the mistake. They're being distracted by their bot lane. They've now lost their ADC in this fight, but it doesn't look like UT are very aware of that. That last team fight is all that it takes. And the poke is enough to keep UT in the running. That is all they're doing. They're staying back. They're starving TSMNZ. They're bringing on that gold gap. And they're poking. These turrets do not have regen. If you can poke them out, you get that little bit more map control. You can move in more effectively into their base. You can poke them out more. You've got a larger gold gap. You get super minions with the turret and inhib. Now the slow is down. You can move in. The crescendo and explosive casks are still up though. Same with the wild growth and Stand United. Guys, it's all about this last team fight. They're just not doing that. I don't know. They're torturing me here. They're just torturing me. I've said all I can. I really have. And there's Home Guards coming out onto Fuwa. So he's finished off. Sorry, on Sidra. He has finished off all his full build. And there's the Guardian Angel coming out from Edible Paper as well. I'm thinking they're pretty happy to jump into a team fight now. They've got two champions that don't like dying very much with the Guardian Angel and a Zonia's. They've also got the Randuins to slow the rest of TSM and Z. They know that that's a big factor to Jace. That's a big factor to Caitlyn. And they've got the pure raw damage output from Keyfam, who can select targets thanks to his Shadow Clone. I don't care, I'm going to call it a Shadow Clone. That's what it's going to be now. I'd go with Snowy Clone, but that's just way too vain. Come on last team fight. I don't even know what to say anymore. Come on, give me something to say. What do I do? I'm trapped as a Shoutcaster here, I have no idea. I keep saying things that people are buying. Look at that gold! 1k on everyone sitting there floating. Oh, Jace went back and bought something. Killed the trend. Sad guy. Very sad. Dustnail, Baron will be back up in about 2 minutes, I believe. If I'm correct. In assuming 2 or 1. Oh, it does look like just barely under 1 minute. They know what the time is doing. There's the Baron. It was about 15 seconds away. So my 2 minutes was just slightly off mark. A little bit. There goes the Baron. It is going to be picked up by UT. They've got 2 champions who do not want to die. They have a Baron. They have some pretty good initiates. They've got the Shurelias. They've got a Locket of the Iron Solari as well. If they get caught now. Oh no! And it's Edible Paper jumping into the middle. He manages to get a kill on a heartbeat. That was insane! Oh my god! Now there is a Shadow Dash going on, and that is the end of the game. In-car getting taken out in the background there. What can I say? Teamfight takes it away. UT bringing away a second win against TSM and Z in the points rounds. They did it last week. They're doing it again here. Winning at Champion Select. Winning at Champ Select. Gold card onto Defiance. That is 1 dead Defiance. GG as it stands. Next game coming up. Doughboys NZ versus K's Doesn't Like Cheese. Good job, UT, for taking it away. Thanks for joining in, guys. We'll get into the next game very soon. Winner, UT!